Hey there, everybody. Today I'm interviewing a client of mine about a recent experience she's had with my fast phobia techniques. So, Donna, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Right, so I'm Donna, and ever since I was a kid, I have been deathly afraid of clowns. Very severe, really afraid.
Okay, so the challenge that you had in particular was you were wanting to do something that was a bit of a dream of yours, weren't you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, I wanted to go to a place called Screen Camp, which is an overnight horror experience. And normally they just done it as like a load of killers broke out of a prison. But this year they decided to do it as a freak show and have a clown in it.
So, obviously, this triggered your phobia
Yeah.
of clowns, and you were even questioning going, if I remember rightly.
Yep, I'd booked it, paid for it, and then I was like, actually, I don't know if I can. Like the pictures that they posted on their site, and I'm like, I can't. There's no way I can face down that.
Yeah, I remember you saying in our first meeting that was the case. Now we actually met in a banter Facebook group, and I remember you saying that you were you had this phobia, but you'd got these plans to go to Scream Camp, and I just remember it wasn't quite a look of abject fear in your face. You were masking it quite well, but your eyes were just saying, "There's no way I'm doing this."
Yeah, yeah,
And that
definitely.
was when I remember I sort of mentioned what it is that I do, or part of what I do for a living. How did that make you feel when you learned that there was a possibility that we could very easily and relatively quickly
Right.
remove
Well,
the
I
fear?
was quite hopeful, but also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking it ain't gonna work. Like, there's no way this is gonna work. Nothing's gonna work. I've just got to live with this for the rest of my life because I generally didn't think there was any other thing to do.
And you'd not heard of services like mine. I mean, I use something called the technique is called fast phobia, and it's part of what I know as emotional change therapy, but it's also used in similar sort of therapy methodologies and techniques such as neuro-linguistic programming. Had you ever heard of any of those before?
No, I hadn't.
Right. But you are a relatively open person in terms of you're willing to try most things once.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that right? Other
yeah.
than clowns at scare camp.
Other than the clouds, I was second question in that.
Okay. And during the experience, during the sessions that we ran, what did you like about what I was offering in terms of the service, but also when it was offered to you, how did that make you feel?
Right. Well, when it was offered, I was a bit like, "Yep, I'm going to give it a try," but I don't think it's going to work. And in that first session, I definitely didn't think it was gonna work. Like, why I'm sitting here in an absolute panic. But you are really good at keeping me calm. Like the whole time, you could tell the state I was in, but you still also kept me so calm because it could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, and just for clarity, this was over Zoom as well, wasn't it? We weren't
Yeah,
doing this
yeah,
face to
no, so it's
face.
not even that I was in the room with you, but you still managed to keep me a relative calm state.
Oh, thank you. And obviously, you survived scare camp. For we was that 2 weeks ago now. I can't quite
It was
remember.
the 12th, yeah.
Yeah, so it was the best part of 2 weeks ago, if not just over. And obviously, you survived. You loved it. You were telling me in the bit just before we started recording, you're even considering going back.
I am going back, definitely. For a minimum of at least 3 times. We're already planning it.
Excellent. No, I mean, obviously, that's really good that you feel in a position to be able to do that. So obviously, I mean, in your own words, what did you get out of working with me on this?
What did I get out of it? Everything, because I there is no reaction now when I see a cloud. Nothing. My heart rate doesn't change. My breathing doesn't change. I don't get all that horrible sweaty feeling. There's nothing. Literally nothing. I could just be looking at a normal person.
You're booking a Ronald McDonald clown person.
Yes. I am. Like, me and the clown are besties. We're actually Facebook friends. Like, who would have thought that would ever happen?
Well, having seen how terrified you were in our first session, actually, I was amazed. I've seen this do a lot of wonderful things, but even I was amazed at how well it worked with you, with yourself.
I thought there'd be something, but no. Like, I had a feeling when he'd come into camp, there was just something like the prickles on the back of your neck. So I was a bit like, And I turned around and I saw him, and I was sort of like the other side. And I did get a hold of my friend, and I looked at her and I went, "This is where we find out if the therapy worked." But yeah, no, nothing. I shouted at him, so there you go.
And I think it's a little bit. I mean, you've kind of described the benefits of the results that you've seen. Obviously, the camp was designed to scare people, but other than being scared, what consequences do you think there would have been had you not worked with me?
If I hadn't have worked with you, I would have ended up easily in a really severe panic attack, and then it would have ruined the whole night.
Yeah, I can imagine that could not have been especially a pleasant thought, let alone the experience of having a panic attack, but also being, and this was at the other end of the country to where you live. You live sort of Kent way, and it was Redcar, wasn't it? So it's just outside, it's northeast, it's blooming Glasgow, so it's not exactly close to us, is it? It's it's the English-Scottish border, but yeah. So, I mean, had you ever considered trying something like this before, or had you experienced other techniques like this before? I don't think you have, from what you were saying.
No, I didn't even know there was this sort of thing out there. Otherwise, I probably would have done it years ago.
Okay, and I mean, would you suggest this to other people? Do you think it's worth? Do you think it's worth the value of time, etc., that you've put into this?
Yes, hands down, easily.
Okay, Donna, thank you very much indeed. That was wonderful.